Perfect. Okay, welcome everybody to the Saturday morning Virtual Care Partners update call. My name is Jeff Giamalva, and Lisa and I guess we have different roles. I'm the Vice President of Sales, and she's Vice President of Partner Success. And I want to welcome everybody on the call that will be logging in from all around the country. And we do these update calls. Guess what? To keep you updated of what's going on with Virtual Care Partners. So let me first start off just with some housekeeping notes, guys. We have an exciting presentation to share with you today. But as everybody knows, we are in what we call a pre-launch. And during this pre-launch, what are we doing? We are building the plane while we fly it. And there lies an unbelievable opportunity for those of you who've accepted this. And what comes with that is obviously the mentality and the desire to persevere through as we see through our October 1st launch. And guys, things are changing on a daily basis. And I believe everything evolves around change. And in order for things to change, we have to change. And this is the group that I believe is going to really benefit from our vision of where we want to take Carry Partners, Virtual Care Partners. And you guys understand the difference, right? Virtual Care Partners, right, is the marketing arm that's bringing Carry product into the marketplace. And the only way any one of us can go out there and benefit financially is by giving either doctors the platform to implement this program into their practice, or by us signing up members that are enjoying the benefits of the membership. So two different sides to the business. So I want everybody to understand this will be the 4th week in a row I'm addressing this. And the reason I'm doing it 4 weeks in a row is because some of you still don't understand the concept of our business overviews. So let me just be very clear, okay? On Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. Pacific time, this is open to everybody on this call, we have something called Success Zone. Success Zone are for those individuals that are taking this journey on how to go out there and market their business. It's personal development. If you choose to plug into that, I think it's very valuable. And I'm personally doing that presentation and really sharing with you 25 years of how we built businesses. And it's all about people development. So that's open to everybody Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, normally for people that really want to build a network, okay? Now, on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursday evenings at 6 a.m. Pacific time, we do business overviews, okay? And the business overview is sharing with people that have a desire that also want to build a network and earn money. So understand something, okay? If I'm going out there and I'm speaking to a physician, 9 times out of 10, I am not talking to that physician about building a network. I'm talking to that physician simply about, right, telehealth and implementing our program that's very unique into his practice. That's what I'm speaking to the physician about. So if there was going to be a Tuesday overview and he knew nothing about building a network, can I ask you all a simple question? Would you invite that doctor on that particular call? No, you would not. And so I can't tell you how still people are sending emails to the company saying, I sent my doctor to that Tuesday meeting and he didn't like the networking piece. Well, let me ask you a question. Who would you blame? Would you blame the person who invited that doctor? Okay, or would you blame the presentation? You have to understand what you're inviting to. And I'm addressing this 4 weeks in a row because that would be like me inviting a networker, someone who wants to build a network, on an introductory overview about the product. I wouldn't put that networker on that particular call. You guys have to understand, you have to match the opportunity to the person you're talking to. Now, so on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, understand what that is, and most of you are now very comfortable with what is being presented there. Okay, and when you understand that, you'll invite the right people. Now, we are also now going to start physician education webinars. So for all of you that are waiting for the physician webinars, those will be starting. Okay, we don't have a start date yet. Hang tight. Within the next 4 days, we will have a schedule for our physician education calls. That's where you would invite your physician friends to learn about the platform. Okay, so I just want to make that one more time, guys, very clear on the different meetings, and it's your ability to invite the people to the right meeting based on what they're looking to do. Okay, now, next thing before we get our guest speaker up, as all of you know, you got an email from the company talking about our president, Mr. Jack Carabes. And let me just share with you very briefly what's happening, okay? Jack was the president. And as Matt Wanderer made different decisions to expand his business, right, into virtual care partners and many different aspects, the president role had expanded. Jack, because of personal reasons, had decided, right, that was not the path he wanted to take. And he simply has stepped aside because of personal reasons. And we wish Jack the very best. Okay? Okay, it was an unbelievable party, okay, with everybody. There was no hard feelings. Jack has chosen a different path. So what comes with that particular change to me is growth. And Matt Wander has made a decision not to just replace Jack with one person, but with 4 other people, because the role has expanded unbelievably. And one of those people that we could really rely on, and this is why we want to have this Saturday morning update call, is Dr. Dan Mc Dyer. And I want you guys to meet Dan, and he's going to walk you through his ever-expanding role and how he could help us all grow our network. So let me just do a screen share here, because I want to give Dan the proper introduction, okay? So if I could get a thumbs up that you guys could see that. Yep, okay, perfect, okay. So let me introduce you guys to Dr. Dan Mc Dyer. Okay, Dan, University of South Florida College of Medicine from 1986 to 1990, OBGYN residency in Jacksonville, an administrative chief resident, 93-94, private practice, OBGYN in Florida from 1998 to the present, board member, Florida Women's Care, right, 2013 to this present time, chairman, Section 2, District 12 of the American College of OBGYNs, 2017 to the present, president, Jacksonville OBGYN Society, right, 2018 till now, medical director of Core Health Solutions, founding investor of Carey Health, and clinical innovation officer, okay, official title, clinical innovation officer with Carey Health. Now, I wish I had, okay, 1/10 of these credentials. And I met Dr. Dan Mc Dyer in a previous company where we were showing physicians how to implement nutritional supplements into their practice. And I will tell you something about Dan. Everybody, and I normally don't make blanket statements, who spends 5 minutes with this gentleman loves him. And I believe he's going to be a very, very big, valuable part and a tool that we could all leverage because of his knowledge of where he sees and where he wants to bring Carey. So without further ado, let me get out of the way and introduce everybody to our Clinical Innovation Officer, Mr. Dr. Dan Mc Dyer.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks so much for the very nice, fictitious introduction there. No, those are all true credentials. I've just been blessed to be exposed to a lot of extremely smart people in my life, such as those here on this call today. And, I just try to take a little bit from everybody, all their talents and skill sets, and try to make myself a better person. I just love working with innovative people. And I've been blessed to be in those situations in the right position at the right time to see some of those projects and leadership roles come my way. And just take every opportunity I can to learn from those, and also learn some bad things I don't want to do at times. And Jeff, I realized I left one thing off of that list, which is actually very relevant to what we're doing here. I woke up this morning thinking that, how could I have forgotten about that when I met you guys? It was back in the mid to late 90s in a company called Wellness International Network. And I do have some credentials there too. I was at the time the only distributor that actually grew his distributorship from the bottom to the very top level of leadership without having to buy my way there. I was a member of the Presidential Leadership Council there. So I understand what you guys are going through from the sales perspective, but also what the doctors are going through and what my patients and your physicians' patients need to take their practices and their healthcare to the next level. So I have a kind of real unique perspective on what we're trying to accomplish here with this entire project. Also, having been a user of the platform or the technology, whatever you want to call it, for about a year now in my practice. I think probably about 8 months, 8 to 12 months. I can't remember exactly when I implemented this. And I'm just here to let you guys know that I'm here to help your businesses grow. I want to be a very essential tool there. My perspective on this, and the reason I'm here is I truly love building things. I really have a real interest in marketing and human psychology and how we can relate to what the patients need, what our physicians need, and getting to be aware of what this can do to transform their healthcare. I love identifying problems and solving them. I respond to challenges very well, and I think we've got a lot of challenges here, being a startup company. But I think if you're along for the ride with us, you're going to be very pleased with what you see develop. And I also bring a lot of energy, integrity, and work ethic to the whole process. So I'm here for you guys, and I really look forward to working with you all very closely in terms of what we need to develop as this process goes along. And there are a lot of things that are in need of work to give you the tool sets that you and I need to help grow this business. I kind of view myself in a way as maybe a little bit like Al Bundy. I'm looking for the untied shoes. I'm going to try to find those loose ends and tie them together really on all aspects of what the company has to offer. So Jeff asked me to be here today for this training just to let you know what my perspective is on the company, what my experience has been using telehealth in my practice for that 8 to 12 months now, and just give you guys some information about where we are and where we're going. So I'm really excited to be here. I hope I don't bore you to death. Jeff, please jump in if I get too detailed, because I am a super hyper analytical person, which paralyzes me at times. But you can rein me in whenever you need to, okay?
Deal.
So I'm just going to tell you how I got involved in this whole project. I'm a 25-year friend of Lou Gallardo, and I also have known Greg Nakagawa, which you guys may know, probably for about 5 or 8 years now, and I've worked with them on a few projects and built some successful systems with them. And about almost 2 years ago, Lou and I were driving in Texas, and he put me on the phone call with Matt because he'd heard this project he was working on in telehealth, and thought that I might be able to bring some unique perspectives to that. And Matt and I hit it off really well. I flew down to Miami a few weeks later and met with him and the team just to see, who they were, what they were doing, and what the whole process of building this would entail. And eventually became, I think, the first physician investor in the company a little over a year ago, and was really impressed with everything they'd assembled. And I kind of knew a little bit about what telehealth was. I knew it was a train coming down the tracks, but I didn't know how close it was at that point. And it's getting nearer and nearer and accelerating every day, guys. So that's where I kind of came from. And at the time, what the company was offering was kind of what we have right now, the cloud-based system, and a $29 a month membership for individuals, a $49 a month membership for families up to 5 people. And I in that meeting, I kind of scratched my head with Matt, and I thought, there's not a lot of discretionary income because the economy was just beginning to recover from the recession. So before I took the next step in investing in the company and dedicating some time to helping them develop some processes and part of the technology, I said, you know what, well, where better to find out if this has legs or not than in my own practice. I have a practice that's extremely busy. I'm totally blessed with everything that we have coming our way. And I wrote up a one-page description of telemedicine, what it was, what symptoms and diseases could be treated successfully via telehealth or virtual health. And then at the bottom of that, I wrote what the membership cost would be, and I queried the patients, if you had opportunity to become a member in this system, would you buy the membership? Yes. And if no, why not? And I had, over a period of about 6 weeks, 560 patients respond to the survey while they're in the office. So these are validated surveys. And I was literally shocked. I think I still have that stack of the surveys in my closet or something. 30.96%, see, there's my hyper-analytical system there in process, 30.96% of the patients said they wanted to become members. I was shocked, guys. I was really shocked because I see the entire stratum of socioeconomic roles from, got nothing to have everything. And to see that 31% of people were interested in becoming members was a real shot of confidence for me. And at that point, I realized we were onto something, and I decided to go ahead and pursue this. Since my initial involvement, I've just been working with the company kind of a consultant. I was doing weekly meetings with the development team for a while there as I began to implement what we call the Delta product in my practice, which I've been using for the past 8 or 12 months. And I can tell you the response from the patients in terms of the virtual care is really gratifying and also fulfilling, but also shocking to me still every time it happens to see their eyes just pop wide open and say, my God, is that all it takes to see you, Dr. Mc Dyer? And it's really cool. I'm not going to tell you everybody's doing it. And I have not sold memberships to the patients yet because I just don't have my full call system in place to allow for that to happen. But we'll be doing that in short order as we go through this process of tying up some loose ends. But what I do currently in terms of using the platform is I typically use it just to follow up with patients for problems that don't require physical exams, and also on lab results and current complaints they have for bladder infections, yeast infections, bleeding problems. I mean, all these things you don't want to hear about the OBGYN's world. It's kind of gross, but anyway, it's my world. So anyway, I offer the patients the opportunity to come in for a visit or just do it virtually. And still, I would say the majority come in for a visit. They have not gotten to the point of understanding how simple the virtual care is. But as it gets more legs, it will start happening because every single patient that I've done a virtual consult with has said, God, I need to use this more. So it's just a matter of getting the product out there and getting people to understand how to use it and how simple it is. The responses are really amazing. One that really stands out was actually about a year ago. I had a patient call on a Sunday, and she had a toothache, and she needed a note. The dentists always seem to need notes to treat the pregnant patients. They should know by now it's fine and safe to treat pregnant patients, but I had no way of getting a note to the patient except for I thought of, well, gosh, I've got this telemedicine platform she could contact me through, and I could just write a note in that system for her on the platform, and she could just download it, print it out, and take it to her dentist. So we did that, took a look in her mouth. She held her phone to her mouth. I could see the tooth that was degrading. And somehow on Sunday, she found a dentist to treat her, which was great. I wrote a little note for her being capable of being treated since she was pregnant. She printed it off and said, Dr. Mc Dyer, thank you so much. I would pay anything to have this service. This is phenomenal. And it just goes on and on like that. Two that really stand out this week. On Thursday, I had one patient, it was actually my partner's patient. She was having some bleeding issues and whatnot. And she just stepped out from her desk after we contacted each other and from the parking lot, did her virtual visit. And she hung up as she was hanging up. She said, God, this is so cool. I can't wait to do this again. I'm like, well, don't get sick any sooner than you have to just to use the virtual care. But anyway, it's a phenomenal response. And then the second one later in the day, and I did want to go through this for just a brief minute, guys, how this actually works. The patients right now, I have downloaded my demographics to the Carry platform. So my patients, when they want to visit, it recognizes their email address. That's the identifier. So that when they request an appointment via their phone or their tablet or whatever, it knows that they're my patient. And then when they successfully request the visit, I get a text message that I have right here on my phone. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty cool. It says, you can read that, a new patient is in the Epic MD waiting room to be seen. So I see that, and I know at that point I just need to go into my office when I've got a free moment. This is what we call an on-demand visit. I just leave my schedule open for patients to make appointments with me whenever they want and at lunchtime. And if there's a brief break between patients, I do the visits with them. So I know I need to sit down at my computer, log into the website, and immediately it tells me who the patients are that are waiting to be seen. I just click on a little camera icon. And then within about 5 or 10 seconds, as long as the patient has left the app running in the background on their phone, it notifies them that I'm there. And then we just do the visit. And right on the platform, right on the screen, I can write my note, and then I close it out and it's done. And actually the patients have continual access to go back and refer to what we discussed and what my treatment plan was. I actually sent in prescriptions for both of those 2 patients, and they were really happy. The second one I was getting to, she, I hate to use the word, but she bitched and moaned and groaned to my staff about the cost and the inconvenience of having to type her information into the phone or on her tablet or whatever she was using. But eventually she did it later in the day. I did her consult, and as she was hanging up, I mean, she was very pleased with the whole visit. And as she was hanging up, she didn't know I was still watching because I had not closed out my system yet. She turned to her baby who she had in her arms and on her hip, and she said, "That was so cool. I can't wait to use this again." I was like, another win for the virtual care platform. So it's really spectacular what happens when the patients are aware of the simplicity and the convenience that this whole platform creates, and the efficiencies too. I mean, just think about it. The patient did not have to get in her car or find childcare for that baby, drive to the office. At that day, I was at a really busy, my hospital office where it's impossible to find a doggone parking spot. She'd have to wait in the waiting room for 30 or 40 minutes because she was an add-on patient, and then sit in the exam room for 15 minutes undressed to be seen. I mean, it saved all that nuisance for her, which is just remarkable. She realized that, which is cool. So it's very gratifying to see that happen. And that's just the very inception of this, guys. The word will spread what we have, not just to other patients, but those patients will start demanding this from their doctors. That's why we are essentially, remember that tsunami that occurred Christmas Eve over in Malaysia or wherever it was, Thailand, I can't remember. I'm not a geographical expert. But anyway, we're the earthquake that's just beginning to happen. It's going to create the tsunami. And if you guys stick with this through the trials and tribulations of being with a startup company, I can tell you with the leadership we have in place, the technology team that's there working on this diligently 24/7, you are going to succeed as long as you do the right things with us. So with that, I take it from the patient perspective to the doctor perspective, because they're also the market that has to be offering this to the patients, and they're going to have to do this eventually. I truly feel that if doctors don't have this in their repertoire of patient evaluation and treatment, they're going to be left behind, because patients will migrate and gravitate towards the practices that have this convenient service available for them, because it is so tough to get to the office. I'll tell you truthfully, making patients wait in my office has probably shortened my lifespan by easily 2 or 3 years, because I just get anxious over it. I hate making people wait. But when people come, I realize how valuable their time is to be there. And, they unload a freaking novel of problems in my lap, and they're really not there for anything other than an annual exam, which is supposed to be no problems, just checkup type of thing. So I take care of everything I can at that visit. And this will help eliminate that problem, man, just getting things done virtually. So from the physician's perspective, I'm kind of shocked at how easy it is to bring this topic up. Most of my colleagues, when I mention telehealth to them, they know what it is. They know there's something out there that they need to be aware of, and they're very interested in learning more. The unfortunate thing is that most of them think that I'm trying to recruit them into a system sort of like the traditional telehealth companies that are out there, like Teladoc or MD Live. And I have to clarify that for them, that this is a tool for their practice that will make them a better physician and a more available physician and a more in-demand physician. So once they understand that, they're very, very interested. I mean, I'd probably say half of my warm market per se of physicians I've spoken to have invested in this company, and those that didn't want to implement the platform in their practice, there's no exception to that whatsoever. So the market is definitely there, guys. It's enormous. I am kind of shocked about the specialties that have the opportunity to implement this in their practices. When I first got involved in this, I thought, it's really pretty much going to be limited to primary care doctors, family practitioners, internal medicine physicians, pediatricians, and OBGYNs. But truly, it turns out there are very few specialties that can't utilize some aspect of this. It's really a communication tool is what it is. We even have orthopedic physicians that are using this not only for post-operative follow-up, but also as a marketing tool for their practice. One in particular is a group in Houston, a very prestigious, well-established group that's extremely busy, kind of like my practice. It's really difficult to get in there. And there's a younger group hot on their tail trying to take market share from them. And they realize part of the reason that's occurring is that those physicians have same-day appointments for the patients when they need them. So they've implemented Carry in their practice, not only to do post-operative follow-up with the patients, because they have patients that come from hundreds of miles away, so it enhances the convenience of being seen post-operatively, but also to make that same-day virtual visit with the patient so they can get that FaceTime with them in recognition and let them know, you know what, we're here for you. We see what's going on. This is not an emergent visit. We'll get you in tomorrow or the day after. There's nothing you need to see us for today. We'll get your appointment done right now. And it's working spectacularly well for them. So there are all kinds of very creative ways to use this tool. And actually, for that section of the performance of the platform, the doctors are paying for it themselves. It's a cost to their practice. It's a marketing cost per se. So there's a lot that we can do with this. So let's see, the market is there. I've got myself an outline to try to stay on track, guys. So excuse me if I look down at this here and there, because I don't want to get too off the pathway here. So as I mentioned a little bit ago, I've been working strictly as a consultant just in my free time, which I have none of. But I made it for this because I realized not only is it my investment and a future for me and my family, but it's so important for my practice and my colleagues to get involved in this now before they're overwhelmed by others doing it. So I want my close friends and family and colleagues to get up on this as soon as possible. So over the past few months, we've been talking about a more formal role for me within the company and trying to come up with a title. We just this week came up with the Clinical Innovation Officer title and a real formal role. I have a contractual relationship with the company now, and I can really now truly sit here in my office at home and say, okay, no more YouTube videos I'm going to sit in front of. I'm rocking and rolling on this thing. I locked myself in here all night last night trying to piece together all the different elements and prioritize what we need to do to bring everything to you guys to make this happen and everything to my colleagues to make this happen very well and efficiently for us. So I'm very excited to have this role. I'm privileged to work with you guys and very privileged to work with the staff at the corporate headquarters down in Miami. I spent the entire day there Tuesday, had some great meetings with some people who are looking at plugging in maybe at first 1,000 members into the group, all the way up to 10 or 100,000 members into the group as paying members for our platform service. So it's very, very exciting to see what's happening here. I feel blessed to be here, and I look very, very much forward to the challenges and the growth that we're going to bring forth. And what I want you guys to realize, I think you do, but we have in our hands here and on our keyboards, truly, from my perspective, an incredible opportunity for each of us to leave our own fingerprint on the transformation of healthcare delivery for our patients and our physician friends. It's really a new model that we can develop. And I don't take that responsibility lightly. I really feel, honestly, a weight on my shoulders to make this happen the right way, because I think we're doing something very unique in the marketplace. Certainly there's telehealth out there, but we have the opportunity to make it hum, to make it work the way it should by building and enhancing the physician-patient relationship, which is deteriorating very rapidly. And that's one thing I'll work on in future trainings with you guys to help you understand why our colleagues do not know what's happening to them. I mean, even I'm getting fewer calls at night and on weekends. I'm kind of happy about that, because it's all free care up until I get this whole platform integrated in my practice. And it's a liability too, which I years ago, about 18 years ago, I got sued over a phone call. I got dropped from the suit 4 or 5 years later, but that's a whole different story, man. But it took years off my life just being worried about that. But anyway, there's a lot that we can do with this, guys. And you know, I think what we really need to think about is, why are we here? And that's for me, that's part of it. But I also think that we have the opportunity to create several things. We can create freedom and independence for our physicians by enhancing their financial stability and also protecting them from what is happening to erode their practice behind the scenes that they're not aware of. They have no idea this is happening, most of them. They don't know why they're getting fewer calls and seeing fewer patients in the office here and there. It's because the patients are going to Minute Clinic. They're getting telehealth services from doctors in the cloud that they'll never see again. It's a random doctor, random care, random quality. And they're not really high quality calls. As a matter of fact, I just found out this week, Teladoc is paying their doctors $18 per consult. That, guys, I wouldn't turn on my phone for $18. I hate to sound arrogant. I would not do that. I just would not do that. It's too much work for $18. So guess what's going to happen? those doctors are going to come our way because they all just accidentally found out this week Teladoc made the critical error of sending an email out to all of their physicians, not with all the email addresses in the BCC line. They accidentally put all of their doctors' email addresses in the carbon copy line. So all the doctors on the Teladoc platform know who all the other doctors are now. They never knew before. And they're starting to get together and maybe unionize and say, we're not putting up with this abuse anymore. We've been commoditized from our practices, and now we're being commoditized by some telehealth company. We're not going to put up with it. And guess what the solution is? It's Carrie. It's Carrie, guys. And this is such perfect timing for that. So we've got the opportunity to create freedom and independence for our physician colleagues, certainly improved healthcare that's more convenient, accessible, and affordable for our families, our patients, our friends, and whatnot. And for you, and me too, it's an opportunity for us to celebrate in the successes of helping all of this make it happen and make it possible by creating awareness and spreading the word of what we're accomplishing. So, it sounds great, it sounds simple, but you got to remember the old mantra, guys, especially at this stage of a company's growth and development. Nothing worth having comes easy. I've told my kids that from the minute they could understand what in the heck I'm saying. Nothing worth having comes easy. So there are going to be trials and tribulations. There are going to be speed bumps in the road, but we're going to try to identify those far off on the horizon before we hit them. And when we hit them, we hope they're just little anthills and not big bumps. And when we do, we're going to solve those problems. So it's not a get rich quick type of a thing, but this momentum with what you guys can create with our assistance and providing the proper tools, I think is going to become, I hate to use the old term viral, but I think we have the capacity to create a viral situation with the way this platform is to be a self-provisioning platform, and with all the converging market factors that are coming together that demand this change to happen.
Hey, Dan?
Yeah.
On that point of tools, and I'm sure everybody's ears perked really high when you said that. We understand as a company the need for the tools. And can you maybe talk a little bit about that, Dan, your vision of some of the tools that we know are going to be in these people's hands very quickly? And maybe also talk about the format of the physician education webinars we're going to start with you leading them.
Absolutely. I was getting to that, but thanks for reeling me in.
Okay.
From that perspective, Jeff, what I see myself, the role I serve here in a way as a liaison between the company and the VCPs, the company and the doctors, and the company and the users, the patients, basically. And with that, we got to talk about the tools. What are the tools that we need to develop to make everything easier? And also, the goal is to diminish the need for human intervention and input. We're a virtual company. We ought to have digital technology to support all of this. So some of the tools, I'll talk about the let me see where I've got that on my outline for the actual products. Hang on one second, guys. I don't want to get mixed up here because I'll get lost. Well, let me tell you about some of the marketing tools, and then we'll get to the products, actually. Yesterday, I was on a call for about 30 or 40 minutes with a company that does animated explainer videos, and I don't know if all of you had an opportunity to see the digital brochures that the company's put together with, kind of live videos, but we are going to be here in the next week having some scripts for the animated explainer videos, which are really effective. I was really impressed with what this company had accomplished on other platforms that they were doing advertising for. And I think it's going to make a very quick message and a very quick impact on the physicians that you're going to be marketing to, and also to the patients who can be the users of the platform. So that's part of the marketing tools that we're going to be using. They'll be in the digital brochures. Those are going to be very nice. And I think what you'll like about that is that when you step into a physician's office, it'll give you an invitation to come back. We'll talk about in a little bit how to talk to physicians, but I think the digital brochure is going to be a very successful marketing tool for you. Is this what you want me to hit on, Jeff? Some marketing tools first in the products?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yep. So with that, of course, we've got to get the user base built up, right? That's the most important thing. Patients and physicians. And that's why I think this marketing program that you guys are running is the most important piece, because we can't have one without the other, and they have to happen almost in parallel with each other to get massive penetration into the physician and patient marketplace, because one needs the other. So this is a perfect tool in my mind to make this happen. Aside from the marketing tools, once we get these products into the hands of physician practices and into our friends, families, and patients, we have to have something there to tell them how to use it. If they don't know how to use it, it doesn't work. And we don't want to have to burden ourselves as busy people to be in the practices or on the phone with our friends, family, and patients, telling them what they've got to do to use it. So with the same tools of the animated explainer videos for marketing, I think we'll be able to use those. We can even probably produce those in-house. Just brief little videos that are tutorials for the physician practices and for the patients as to how to use the platform properly. I already have together, I've assembled this, a turnkey physician implementation program to get the physicians up and running ASAP as soon as they start it, because you may or may not realize this, doctors are extremely busy and extremely easily distracted. It's hard to get them to do anything new. They hate change in general. Most aren't very entrepreneurial whatsoever. So that's part of the job of ours, is to get them up to speed and understand why they need to do this. And once they get this started, they have to see success immediately. If it's a burden to them, if it doesn't work, they're gone. They're gone forever, because it's a new thing and it's going to be a negative at first for almost all of them. They're not going to want to do it, but we just have to get them on there and experience, and they're going to see the ease of it and the importance for their future of their practice. So we'll have those tutorials, and then that's pretty much, I think that's going to cover pretty much everything from the marketing perspective and the educational perspective, is those videos. And of course, there'll be human input. I want you guys to understand something, that this isn't going to be just drop into a doctor's office and be gone, and they're going to work it right. You'll have to spend some time with the practices, find out who the point person is who's going to be able to be the key explainer of this to the patients, because there will be questions. Because we need to do some education with the practices, but hopefully it'll be, I'm going to try to make it as limited as possible and as self-explanatory as possible, so that we don't have to be there frequently. You just don't want to become a burden to the practices and a burden to yourself. So another thing I'm involving myself with very intimately right now is I'm getting involved in the technology side, so I can have a full, confident understanding of what the technology does. I've been participating in that intermittently, like every week or two in the past, but I need to see where the platform is. I hate to use the word platform, but that's kind of the way I view it, and what it's doing to make sure we have all the right tools to make it hum. And I know that we do, but I'm going to have that understanding here within the next 4 or 5 days after I meet with some of the key technology folks. I did some of that over the week on Tuesday too. So I'll have a better understanding of what you'll be selling per se in terms of the platform in a very short period of time. But right now, what I'm using, I can tell you, has functioned flawlessly on both ends, patient and physician end. It's a simple to use tool. As a matter of fact, just a quick example to get off task for a second. Over Christmas, this is kind of how crazy and diligent I am. I brought my computer with me. We're out shopping in Asheville. We're up in North Carolina for Christmas break. And I just had it with me just in case patients needed some help. And a pretty well-known patient in our practice who I came this close to kicking her out of the practice on several occasions, because all she would do is moan and groan about the cost of everything. Well, she had a breast issue, some mastitis that she developed over Christmas break, and wanted to be seen. And of course, I wasn't in the office, I was on vacation. So she did a virtual appointment with me, and I was sitting in the parking lot at a UPS store in North Carolina. I just did a hotspot off my phone, opened up my computer, and did a virtual visit with her. And man, she was transformed. She was no talk about money anymore. She was just so excited about having had the opportunity to see me without me being there, and to not have to take her baby to the office or to the ER and be seen. So just a little aside there as to how cool this platform is, guys. It functions flawlessly, even in a difficult situation like that. So with all those pieces coming together, which will be very quick, guys, I am literally barricading myself in the office when I'm not seeing patients all week this week. I'm on vacation next week. There's nobody joining us up in North Carolina, so it's just me and my wife. We're going to have a little fun time, and I'm just going to focus on nothing other than this, because this is so important. So we'll have very, very important tools that are very effective for you very quickly.
Hey, Dan, on that note, I want to unmute Lou. Lou, are you there? Lou? Yeah. There you are. I know you've joined us, and I just wanted to give you a chance. I know you've listened to a little bit of what Dan's talking about the marketing, but I know you guys are working very closely together on this.
Well, first of all, let me just say that, I couldn't be more excited to have, obviously, I think everybody, I'm looking at the chat line, to have Dan intricately involved. I know he's busy. I mean, he's on the board of the largest, the largest OB/GYN group in the Southeast. He's also involved with his academy, and he has a very large, robust practice that is incredible in Jacksonville. And then plus he's a dad and a husband, so he's busy. But I couldn't be more ecstatic about him being involved with this. Dan was the first person that I introduced to Epic over 2 years ago, because I knew that he was a forward-thinking provider. The tools, and I think that the perspective that Dan brings is that he's actually been, a provider that is utilizing the platform. It's been his input. It's been his feedback, not only with himself but his colleagues, his interaction with his patients, that has continually developed the product. So it's really having his perspective on not only writing the script or participating in the marketing details. I think it's going to have a huge impact. In addition, Dan has experience in direct selling. 25 years ago, Dan and I and a good friend of ours built a massive organization that did millions of dollars of business in the direct selling space. So he has an intrinsic understanding of direct selling. He understands patient care. So yeah, it's just exciting, Jeff. It's exciting to have Dan. I think we've made more headway in the last 3 days than we've maybe made in the last month or two on just some of these very simple concepts and tools. So I could go on and on, Jeff, but it's I'm reading. I think that he brings a freshness. I think he brings a focus, and I think he also brings a keen understanding about what we need. And also, what I would say is you can be excited the fact that Dan and myself and the team are working on some healthcare-based presentation and some physician-based presentations, and we will have in a sense a bifurcated schedule. Not that one will be alienating any group or non-healthcare people that can't participate in the healthcare presentations, but we will have a calendar that will be very specific for the target audiences for what we're doing. Obviously, a physician-based presentation where we'll get very detailed into these types of questions that physicians want answers to. So that's my perspective. There's no doubt that this is a major just leap forward in what we're doing. I don't know if there's anything else that you might want to specifically talk about, but I think it's evidence on what you've heard this morning.
No, thank you, Lou. I want your perspective because I know you guys have worked very closely together for years. So you can see the base is totally excited. Dan, you might want to look at the chat lines. It's sort of like a welcoming committee for you.
Oh, well, that's very nice. I'll try to figure out how to do that.
The other thing is I can tell you that Dan is one of the most integral people that I know. He's just a super person, and people love him. His patients love him. So I think everybody will have. One thing I would ask though is making sure that you're very. Dan is a guy that will open himself up. He doesn't like to say no. He wants to help everyone, but we really need to make sure, Jeff, that the field just values his time that we build for the presentations that he's going to be on, and that we really make sure that we protect him, and just his time. That if we need to pull Dan in for any specific opportunities, that they're vetted, that they go through you and Lisa, and because he's running a lot of things, and so the more time he has to actually help us with the actual development and building of these critical items that he's talking about, the better.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Lou, because that was on my agenda to make sure everybody understands that part of it. And you'll have to go through me and Lisa, and we'll be vetting, what needs to be, who needs to be pulled into what based on what you're bringing to the table. Guys, we understand the power of helping you, right, secure a physician and helping you build a business. So we just want to make sure we're respectful of everybody's time. So, Lou, thank you, brother. And Dan, anything else you want to add that we have not covered on this initial call?
Yeah, just a quick little bit on, kind of the culmination of all of this, all these pieces that are going to be coming together very quickly here. And let me tell you guys, truthfully, I feel an enormous responsibility here to make this happen, because not only for you, but some of my very best friends have invested in this. I've got a lot of skin in the game, and I want everything to work extremely well. And I know it can, and I know it will, because we have all the bricks in the wall with the cement being laid right now to make this happen with Jeff, Lisa, Lou, and Greg. Man, phenomenal team on this side. And outside on the side of the company, there are some really, really top flight people. It's amazing how dedicated they are to what they're doing. It was really, it reinforced my confidence being down there all day Tuesday, and to see some of the other things peripherally that are starting to come our way. It's amazing. So the culmination of all these tools coming together is what Lou had mentioned just a moment ago. There will be kind of a bifurcation of the presentations, I think, which is important, because doctors may or may not want to know about the direct sales component of this. And if they do, great, we'll get them into the right hands to present that. But many don't want to play a role in that. They just want to practice medicine and use the tools. So we're going to have physician webinars that are separate from the VCC recruiting webinars. And what I would say that I would expect to develop in these webinars, which I'll be running probably with some colleagues and things, they'll be very succinct, very professional presentations that create interest and really validate the emerging importance of telehealth by defining the why, what, and how of Carry Health. I spent a little time on our trip in Italy on the train rides and the flight back. I reviewed 168 different articles that have been written about telehealth in the medical literature over the past 2 years, and it's really validating. And I've kind of condensed that, and I'm going to put that into just a slide or two so our colleagues can see why they're going to be left out if they don't get involved in this, and what the potential of it is. So the physician webinars will be fantastic. The VCC recruiting webinars are going to be great too. I'll participate in those to kind of validate and bring my conviction to the presentation. They'll be succinct and create interest to pursue additional information. So we don't probably, as we pursue this and develop this, our presentations, I envision them being a bit shorter, but those are the things that create the interest to take them to the next step of learning how the compensation plan works, more detailed about the platform, things like that. So we're not overwhelming them. And we'll have these recorded, both the physician and the VCC webinars, because it's not convenient for everybody to be on the call at 9 Eastern time on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, or at 7 in the morning for the trainings that Jeff and Lisa are doing. We'll have them recorded so that it's convenient for you and your physician colleagues, or for your friends and family, to learn about this. So it's always there 24/7. So you can do a meeting whenever you want. They'll be highly professional, perfectly edited. Everything's going to be great. So we have in-house, even Diego and the marketing team and the design team they blow my mind every time they take an idea of mine and mock it up. It's truly spectacular. There's a lot of talent there, guys. And I was going to get into how to speak with doctors, but I think we'll just save that for another time. I've bored you guys way too much with my excitement. I hope you can see that I'm very, very excited about this opportunity. It's very difficult to contain that. As a matter of fact, I had a little trouble falling asleep last night as I was kind of preparing this outline in my head and trying to fall asleep thinking about everything we had ahead of us to work on, but also the success that we're going to bring. So I'll just take it from there. Jeff, you can close it up if you want. We'll do how to talk to your doctor training maybe next week or something like that.
Okay, why don't we do one more thing, Dan? Give them a 2-minute teaser on how to talk to a doctor to lead into that we'll do next week.
Okay, well, sure. It's not easy. That's the teaser, and I'm sure you guys have run into that. I have patients here and there that bring me things that I can tell. I can tell the look in their eyes the minute they're in the exam room. They're going to introduce me to some thing they want to sell me or something like that. And I always give them the time of day because I know they're working hard to try to make something happen. But generally speaking, like I said earlier, doctors are not entrepreneurial at all, not entrepreneurial at all in general. So they're tough to talk to, but I think the real battle is just getting in front of them. And I wouldn't drop this on them at a patient visit. That's for sure. I just don't think that's the right timing, honestly. Most be offended by that because they're there to take care of you at that point in time. So realize they're very busy. The front desk staff are huge barriers. The doctors are very, very, very suspicious that you're there to take something from them. And if you set your mind into the mindset that this is not for me, this is for them, and I'm here to serve you, I want to know what I can do to make your life better. And when you understand that you have that tool in your hands, that can change your whole approach to how you talk to the doctor. And it's really about educating them about the unseen threats, which we'll go through in the training. It's about just creating a quick bit of awareness. And I think, like I said earlier, I think dropping off that digital brochure after you have that brief few minutes to talk to the doctor will open up the invitation to come back. You'll just tell them, hey, I'll be back in 2 or 3 days. Is it okay if I come back and speak to you about what you've seen so I can pick up the digital brochure? You get a confirmation on that, and then boom, you've got the door open to get them on a webinar or, whatever, talk with another doctor or something like that who's using the platform and whatnot. So we'll go through more details about that later. There's an art to it, but really the art is in you first to understand that it's not about you, it's about them. And when you do that, you're going to succeed. I'm certain of that.
And of course, Dan, your personal relationship with the doctor trumps a cold call any day.
100%.
So that goes without saying, everybody. So that's your low-hanging fruit, of course. So
yeah, one other thing too, Jeff, is that many people may rack their brains and say, well, I don't know any doctors. How am I going to make this work? Well, that's okay. 3, 4, or 5 people who have health care all the time, they need it, right? More and more people are becoming uninsured since Trump reversed the personal insurance, or the whatever that mandate was called, the individual mandate. So they're going to need health care, and this is a cheap way to get health care and very effective with the quality of doctors we have. So you may not know a doctor, but 4 or 5 of your friends who need health care and a service like this, and they see what this offers, they may know a doctor. So it's just not about you, it's about them too in that situation. So don't get discouraged or try to force yourself into a physician's office unprepared. And we'll have you all prepared on how to accomplish that, because really it's important for the company that this is accomplished in a very professional manner. We want Epic Health to be the most prestigious, Carry Health, defaulted back to the old name. We want it to be the most prestigious functional platform the physicians will demand to use, and the patients too.
Perfect. Dan, I thank you. I know everybody else thanks you. I could see the excitement just on everybody's face and all their comments. So we got to keep moving, because we got a couple more things, guys, a couple more tools for you to use that has been brought onto your back office. So I'm going to turn this over to Lisa. Miss Lisa, are you there? You can take the screen, Lisa.
Okay, cool. Well, first of all, I want to thank Dr. Dan Mc Dyer for being on the call today. You guys are seeing a snippet of what's to come. We are going to be working relentlessly over the next 3, 4, 5 days to start rolling out some substantial tools and presentations. We understand there's some questions on the chat line. We're hearing everything, but for time's sake, we open one question, we're going to open up 100 more. So what we want to do is know that we hear you, know that we know what you're asking. Please be patient. We're going to be rolling out everything you need in the following weeks. You just heard from a very meticulous doctor who's been on the networking side, and he's been on the physician side. We couldn't have a better situation. I was thinking to myself when Dan was talking, he's the most adorable doctor. I wish he was my OBGYN when I was having my 2 girls. He is so amazing.
Whoa.
So sweet. He's amazing. I just feel like, you know what, you guys, we have somebody that has a lot of integrity. He's going to be there for this company. And if you all don't feel that after this call, I don't know what would get you, what's going to get you excited. So we're going to finish up with some housekeeping issues, not housekeeping, but just some final updates to close out this call. We want to keep it at an hour and respect everybody's time. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. if I can. Okay, so first of all, let me just share my screen here. Okay, does everybody see my screen? I want to go down here. Actually, do you see my screen, or do I need to reshare it, Jeff?
I have your Dan Mc Dyer. Is that you, Dan Mc Dyer's bio?
Oh, no. I got to redo it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Here we go. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so first thing, I like to do our updates, okay? Everybody knows about the Vegas contest. It goes through the second week of July. The top 3 winners, it's just going to be an all-expense paid weekend here at the Giammalva Casa. We're going to have a lot of fun, special training, a lot of parties. As you can see, we've got Kenny Francis and Dr. Batson in the lead with 33 points. And this is what I love. You got someone like Lisa Ricard. She came up out of nowhere, just started in the last 3 weeks, and she's in second place. Jocelyn De La Torre, she's another brand new VCC. She's in third place. Dean Hibbs, fourth. I'm excited about Dan Mays. He's coming out of nowhere. Look at all these people tied, I should say. They're all tied for third place. Jocelyn, Dean, Dan Mays, Sonia and Gus are right on the tail. So just know the contest, you guys, it's a point contest. Every time you personally sponsor a VCC, you're going to get 5 points. Anybody in your downline sponsors someone, you're going to get 1 point. And this is a 6-week contest. We're just doing something fun to just kind of pop the summer months. So that's what I want to talk about. The other thing I want you guys to keep to make sure you know we're also doing is we've run 1 campaign so far, 5 zip codes. It produced a lot of doctor leads. These physicians have responded like a Dan Mc Dyer. They want this platform. We haven't even unleashed the real marketing yet, which you guys are going to hear about when we roll out what you're going to see in the future. We got to keep a lot of things tight-lipped, but in the next following couple weeks, there's going to be some huge opportunities around the map for physicians to get involved. But right now, what we're doing is we're keeping track of the top distributors based on how many recruits they brought in is going to determine how many leads, physician leads, are going to be distributed. These are leads that called into, responded to our advertising through Curie Health, and they're interested in the platform. They're not closed. They haven't signed any contracts, but they're leads waiting for this Curie platform to be unveiled. So obviously, I mean, look at Kenny and Francis and Dr. James Batson have 18. You know, you guys can see Gordon and Shane Turner have 10. Fran, you're up to 9. Gus and Jan, you've got 8. Sonia, you've got 8. So you could see based on the recruits, that's going to determine how many leads you get. We want to reward you. That makes sense, right? Okay, so we got the doctor leads. We got the Vegas contest. I'm going to switch over to a new tool. There's going to be a lot of new tools, you guys, that are going to be popping into your resource library. This is the newest one. I know you all been asking for the compensation plan. This is just a brand new tool that's been, it was just finished yesterday, but so much is going to be coming, you guys. You have no idea. It's
what do you think of our logo, guys?
Oh, look at the logo. The new logo. Virtual Care Partners is the name of our division. I love it because it's kind of a heart with a cluster. To me, it's all about the partnership with us and Curie Health. If you scroll down, compensation at a glance, look at this beautiful marketing piece. It talks about Virtual Care Partners compensation plan is made up of 5 income opportunities that allow our virtual care consultants to maximize their earnings for their team building and sales activity. So it goes over the Fast Start bonus. It goes over the unilevel opportunities. It goes over the ranks, what you need to do to hit each rank: manager, executive, director, regional director, national marketing director.
You did a great job.
It's gorgeous. Isn't it gorgeous? You love the colors, the unilevel bonus. So this is going to be great to show your prospects. So as you climb the ranks, you're going to be able to earn farther down in the levels. Obviously, national marketing director down 7 levels. The leadership bonus. There's a Founders Club bonus. We're not going to train the comp right now, but just look at this beautiful piece that our marketing guy, Diego, just finished. And we're calling our car bonus the Tesla bonus. We're a technology company. We got to be hot, hot, hot. So we're not a car bonus. We got a Tesla bonus. You hit the executive level, you're getting an $800 car bonus every single month. So this is beautiful, beautiful piece. It's going to be, if it's not already there, it'll be in the resource library as of Monday.
Does everybody know where that is, Lise?
Yeah, the resource library, I'll repost it again on our Facebook page. Make sure you're adding people to the Facebook page, which right now is, what is it, Carey Network Partners? If you're not on the Facebook page, make sure you get on it. I'll repost our resource library. One more thing, you guys, as far as some housekeeping goes, I'm going to go to my, boom. I'm going to go up here to, can everybody see this? Jeff, turn your phone off. Okay. By the way, just a little housekeeping. PayPal. Right now, we're all paid through PayPal. There's a lot of things that are going to be changing. Obviously, the back office software is going to be beautiful. That's coming sooner rather than later, but we don't want to give you any definite dates. That's gonna switch over everything into this beautiful back office that we're all used to in the network marketing world. But right now, PayPal is the way we get paid. It's very important that your PayPal account, the email, has to match the email that you've registered with in Carey Network Partners. Does that make sense? So if you have a different email, there's two things you can do. You either need to change your VCC email to match your PayPal email, or you got to change your PayPal email to match your Carey Network email. They've got to match because that's the only way we can pay out. They've got to be synced. Does that make sense? If you have any questions, always email support@carey.com. All right. Also, commissions. In your dashboard, on your commission, where it says commissions are due, there might be some discrepancies because the Fast Start bonus is either a $100 bonus or a $200 bonus. And in the commission payout, it's showing that it's in the unilevel. So you need to disregard what you're seeing. It just is what it is, you guys, in our software on our back office until we get into our new software. There are some discrepancies. In some cases, it's a little lower your payout will be. In some cases, if you're at 50% in your Fast Start bonus, it's going to be a little higher. So just know this stuff, you guys. And I always say, if everything was perfect, it would be too late. Y'all know we're building the plane as we fly it. So tools are coming. Obviously, the physician thing is about to be unveiled, the physician program. You heard from Dr. Dan Mc Dyer. We're going to have a beautiful physician presentation. It will be supported by videos, marketing pieces, many tools for all of you to start enrolling your physicians now. So I think that's all I had, Jeff. Do you have anything else you want to add? We're at 9:03.
Yeah, let me just close it out. How do I take control of the screen? Okay.
Got it?
Yep. Okay.
I see you. You're good.
I know, baby. Okay. So, guys, in closing out this this call today, I just want to, we talk about logos and we talk about, all these different things that we have. One thing I want everybody to remember: the best logo is you. And when you look at where we are, trying to stall here while I put this up. Hang on. Boom. I keep seeing Lisa's face. There we go. Okay. We talk about this logo and that logo. At the end of the day, I believe your smile is your logo. Your personality is your business card, and how you leave others feeling after an experience with you becomes your trademark. Your smile is your logo. Let's leave the call today with a smile. Your personality is your business card. How you leave others feeling after an experience with you becomes your trademark. So we could talk to you, and Dr. Dan can talk to you all day long on how to go out there and talk to this person or that person. It's how you make people feel and how you represent yourself in a professional manner that people will always remember. You want to be memorable, and that will help you take your business to a whole nother level no matter what. Appreciate all you guys. Hopefully you're excited about what's about to come. This is changing. Matt Wanderer just called me. That's who was on the other line. He wants to talk about, right, the videos. We are moving at 100 miles an hour. Just hang on tight. It's going to be a great ride. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you.